At 34, I never dreamed I would be doing this. If you had asked me 3 or 4 years ago when I was working in a law office and stressing about motions and deadlines, that I would be stressing about the structural integrity of a 46-foot catamaran boat and whether it can cross the Atlantic Ocean. But that's my only concern right now. That and, when I need to step on board and what food I need to bring, but that's it. Kind of don't know what to say. I'm at a loss for words and trying to figure out how to convey this to you the best way. But I think I just need to tell you it.
I'm gonna cross the Atlantic Ocean.
It's amazing where life will take you, if only you let it. 3 years ago, I had never even sailed, and look at me now. Okay, where to start? In real time, Philip and I had just splashed the boat, so one of my first missions was to line up my next gift of cruising to give away on Patreon. My first gift of cruising winners, Lance and Shelley, excited about their boat buying adventure, had actually come down to Pensacola in March to take a keelboat course certification with our very own Lanier Sailing Academy here in Pensacola. They also got to go out for a killer day sail on our buddy Kevin's Pearson 36 cutter. When Lance and Shelley told me what a great time they had with John and Kathy at Lanier, I knew the next gift I wanted to set up would be a bareboat charter course through Lanier Sailing Academy. And I was actually headed there that very day that I got the offer of a lifetime.
Hey kids, I was going to wait until I had a beautiful sunny day to share this news with you, but then I thought, you know what, on this passage that I'm going on, most of my days might look just like this, kind of cold, wet, miserable, rainy, so we all just better get used to it. Here's the news. I am going to sail across the Atlantic Ocean on a sailboat. Yeah, first week of June. It's going to be about a 3-week passage. Not going on our boat. It's an opportunity that came up that I cannot pass up. It's a high-performance French-built catamaran, 46-foot, super strong boat, and a competent captain who has welcomed me aboard. So I signed up as crew. This little salty sailor is going to cross an ocean in a sailboat this year. I assume we're going to run into, some heavy winds, some weather. We're outside of hurricane season. It's not really, it doesn't start normally until about July when we see hurricanes hit in that part. So I think we're safe there. It's a, usual time that people cross, late May, early June. We've got definite weather connections. We're going to have a DeLorme in reach, weather facts. Lots of communication, GPS, great electronics on the boat. I, of course, will have the GoPro in hand, but the captain has a video venture that he's doing, so I don't have first rights to the footage. But I pushed very hard and asked that he let me share it with a small, non-public group, which is you, my patrons. So I get to share anything I want there. My ship log notes, my photos from the trip, my write-ups, my daily logs that I take, what I'm thinking, feeling, our packing, provisioning, sail plans, and the tracker link so you can follow us along as we go and, give messages every day, the status of the boat and the crew and, the passage that we're making and the progress, so you can be a part of the journey that way. And I wish I could share it publicly and blast it everywhere, but for the opportunity to go on this trip, the captain requested and I agreed that I can only share it on a small platform, but I hope that you'll join this journey with me. It's a small price to pay, just a weekly donation, whatever you think is reasonable, and you've got a ticket to ride. I sat here and pulled out a chart and talked about the next place I'm going to sail to, and it was like, oh, down south, Cuba, and we're going to go to Isla Mujeres, and we are going to do those things, but I would have never guessed that before that, I was going to cross the Atlantic Ocean. So just a really cool tribute to you never know where life can freaking take you. You just kind of have to, be ready, and hopefully you've structured a life in a way that you can follow your passions and do what excites you and, ignites you. And that's what I'm doing here, and I'm really proud that I'm able to go. You know, I'm gonna have to work really hard to build up content and work so that I can take off, but I can do it. You know, I can go. I'm not in a law office where I can't leave. I can say yes to this opportunity. So that's really cool. So the question, I'll have to go back to that video and say, where am I going next? France. I've never been. I gotta get my passport out. I only have one little Bahama stamp. Here goes. Video Annie's gonna cross an ocean. Who's coming?
So, life just kind of took an unexpected detour. I'm about to be a very busy sailor here. We have a lot of work left to do to finish preparing and packing the boat for the voyage, a process which I will share with you on Patreon, along with all of my other Atlantic crossing content. I will also continue to share our story with a fun Have Wind Will Travel video every Friday, as well as the occasional boat tour. And if that wasn't enough, I plan to publish another salty saga this May, so you'll have something to read on while I'm off gallivanting across the ocean. And the minute I set foot on shore back in Florida, I promise I'll head straight down to Lanier to set up that bareboat cruising certification course as my next gift of cruising. But in the meantime, the gift is a transatlantic voyage. You ready? Come aboard.
You know what it feels like to be hundreds of miles away and you're not going to get to shore for weeks and weeks. How freeing that must be, how frustrating it might be, everything. I'm going to share it all. That way you can see what it's like vicariously to cross an ocean in a sailboat. I'm about to turn 34 and I can't believe I have this opportunity to do this. The time to do it, the health to do it, and you know, the capabilities. I'm a little nervous. I'll make sure I bring enough to the table, enough talent and skill and wherewithal, but I'm going to give it my all, and I'm going to share this with you. Do you want to cross the Atlantic with me? Let's go. I want to go sailing.
Become a patron now, where you can check out my welcome message that's waiting in a patrons only post, as well as plenty of ocean crossing content to follow. Get inspired, get on board, and get on Patreon for this incredible journey.